Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome back to My Yoga Time. Today's yoga class was specifically requested to help with the functioning of your lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system plays a very important, crucial role in removing waste and toxins from our body. If the lymphatic system fails to drain properly, then the toxins and cellular waste accumulate in our body and we can begin to feel quite stiff, swollen, heavy, and lifeless. Now, there are many lymphatic channels throughout the body, drawing the lymph up from the legs and down from the head towards the chest. And they have filtering stations called the lymph nodes, which are located in our neck, under our arms, and in the groin as well. And these can become quite swollen and sore at times when we're not feeling 100% or the lymphatic system's not draining properly. So unlike the circulatory system, which relies on our pumping heart to function properly, the lymphatic system relies on rhythmical movement of constantly contracting or tensing and relaxing our muscles. So yoga is especially effective for your lymphatic system, particularly this class, which we're going to start with a gentle flow, and then we'll move into a restorative practice which targets those lymph nodes throughout the body. So I do have 2 blocks for this practice. If you don't have blocks, please grab yourself a couple of really thick books. When you're ready, we're going to begin on our back. And option here to place either 1 block flat underneath your tailbone, or if you can, 2 blocks stacked on top of one another. Now holding onto those blocks if you can reach, and then lifting one and then both legs up. So there's a bit of a sweet spot here, almost a slight tuck of the tailbone, where you can find a nice balance between effort and surrender in holding those legs up. A little movement here with the breath. Let's inhale to point the toes and exhale to flex the feet. Now it's raining quite heavy here, so there might be a little bit of white noise in the background. My apologies. And do place the very tip of your tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. Keeping the jaw relaxed throughout your practice and finding a slight tone in the back of your throat. As you begin Ujjayi breath, see if you can hear the sound of your breath. Well done. Let's bend those knees now. Bring the feet back down to the floor. If you're on 2 blocks, remove 1. Option here just to have 1 block flat, or if it feels okay for your back, take it to the second height. On the inhalation, let's float the arms above the head. Holding there as you pause. And then as you exhale, simply float the arms back down by your side. Let the breath initiate the movement. And next time you exhale those hands down, it's the last time. Let's squeeze the heels in, lift up those heels and the bottom. Remove your prop and then lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. When you touch down, cupping those hands over the knees, bending the elbows when you exhale, straightening the arms as you inhale. Take longer there if your back needs. Otherwise, reaching for 1 block, place it in between your thighs and pick those feet up off the floor. Cactus arms, arms out to the side. Squeeze in on the block. As you exhale here, take the legs over to the left 45 degrees. And then as you inhale, come back to center. Well done. And this third time, coming all the way down, you can use your second block if you need to underneath the leg. Otherwise, bringing the leg to the floor. Try to line those knees up with your hips. Let's lift the head and move the back of the head to the left, then turn your head to the right. Be sure to deepen your twist by deepening your breath. Option to take a mudra here, connecting index finger and thumbs. So we'll have lots of cleansing twists in our practice today. Combine them with your deep abdominal breath. Feel the navel rise and expand as you inhale. Gently contract as you exhale. In just a moment, we'll bring those knees back to center. Before we do so, engage Mula Bandha. So a little tone at your base. Ladies can lift pelvic floor. That will support your back as you bring those legs back. Let's just briefly pop the feet on the floor, move the hips a touch to your left, and then raise once again. Exhaling 45 degrees over to the right, and then back to center. And coming all the way down now. Engage Mula Bandha. Bring those legs back to center. Let's remove the prop. Let's cross at the ankles. Take a hold of your big toes. We'll rock and roll forwards and backwards. Coming all the way up. And then transitioning over onto all fours. Coming into tabletop. And just have your blocks at the very top of the mat. Taking those pinky fingers to the very edge of your mat, hands under shoulders, toes tucking under. Let's inhale into your back bend and exhale to round the spine. So option one, you'll stay with this motion. Option two, as you round the spine, press into the pads of the fingers and take those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Hold your downward dog as you inhale and then exhale, knees back down to the mat. Inhaling into your back bend. Mindful movement with the breath. Let's hold this downward facing dog now. Send your chest towards your thighs. Squeeze the heels of the palms in towards one another. Broaden through your shoulders. And stepping up to the top of your mat. Bringing those blocks over next to the feet. Take them to your preferred height. Make sure those feet are hip width apart. Little bend in the knees. Squeeze the heels in, engage Mula Bandha. And as you inhale, come halfway up. Bring those arms with you. And as you exhale and fold, ha out the breath. Try and squish your belly into your thighs. Inhale, let's come up. One more. Well done. Blocks to the side. Let's roll up to standing. Moving through a few sun salutations now. When you're ready, inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees, tuck in your chin, swan dive. Inhaling halfway up, either fingertips on the mat or hands to the knees. Let's step your left leg back. Take a low lunge, left knee to the mat. Try and squeeze your feet towards one another as you inhale the arms up. And then as you exhale, flow the hands down, high lunge, step back into your plank. Option to pop the knees down or hold your plank here, rounding out the upper back. Rock the body forward. And squeeze those elbows into the ribs as you come all the way down. Keep the tops of the feet facing down. As you inhale, lift up, bring those hands with you. Squeeze the shoulders back. Then as you exhale, lower down. Inhale to come up, feeling the pubic bone press into the mat. Exhale to lower. 2 more. Well done. Holding this one now. Feel free to float those feet up and take those arms next to the body for your locust pose. Little lift through the inner thighs here. Can you feel the breath move the body? Exhale to lower, hands under shoulders. Let's move via the knees. Return to your plank, rounding out the back and taking those hips up and back. Inhale and raise your left leg, and then look forward, step through, find your low lunge. Squashing the mat between your feet, so trying to squeeze those feet towards one another. Exhale, hands down, step up to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold. Reverse swan dive. This time as you exhale, let's lower down into chair pose. Squeeze those heels in. Folding down. Half lift on the inhalation. And this time as you exhale, step your right leg back. Find your low lunge. Float those arms up. Exhale the hands down. Stepping back into your plank. Lower all the way down. Bring the hands next to the body. Option 1. Option 2, interlace the fingers. Tailbone tucking under. Inhale to lift. Check the position of your tongue. And exhale to lower. Moving via the knees, find your plank, downward facing dog. Left leg up. Look forward, step through. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Reverse swan dive. Bring those palms to the heart center now and bring those big toes to touch. A little distance between your heels. So taking a chair pose here with a twist, we're going to bend the knees, hook your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Keep your right knee behind or in line with your left leg. Well done. Let's return to center, folding forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, left leg back. Low lunge once again, float those arms up. We're twisting left elbow to the outside of the right knee this time. Try and pull your left knee forward, drag the right heel back. Let's return to center. Step it back into your plank. Option 1, lower all the way down to the mat. Option 2, hover an inch above the floor or roll over the toes into your up dog. If you're an up dog, legs are not touching the mat, just tops of the feet in your hands. Rolling out the spine, return to your downward facing dog. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale and exhale. Reverse swan dive. Palms to the heart center, big toes to touch. Let's take our chair with a twist. Keep breathing. Looking down now, stepping the right leg back. Bring the arms up. Move into your twist. Let's return to center. Take your flow. And step to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhaling to fold. So bring your blocks over now and have them on the flat side next to the feet. Reverse swan dive, coming all the way up. From here, coming into our eagle pose, bend both knees and then cross your right leg over your left leg. So the block is there to help with your balance if you need. Otherwise, see if you can wrap the foot around the calf muscle. Now, if this is not an option for your knees or hips, just take your chair pose once again, both feet to the floor. So here we want to press the thighs together. Take the arms out to the side. Left arm over the right, either staying there or bending the left arm and finding your full bind. So a little resistance here between the thighs and the forearm. Let's keep the arms in position, unravel the legs, warrior three. And lower right foot down, warrior one legs, bring the arms out in front. So have that right foot on a 45-degree angle. Pick up the heel if there's any concerns with your knee or your hip. Press the feet away from one another here. We're stretching the mat. As you inhale, take the arms back. And as you exhale, bring the arms forward. Round out the upper back. Try and keep that roundedness and then lift the arms up. And then exhale, hands down to shoulder height. Inhale. Exhale. And this time, let's straighten that left leg, lower your hands down, recruit the blocks if you need to. If it feels better, you can step your back foot in a little bit closer. Inhale halfway up, and exhale to fold. So make sure your palms are flat either on the blocks or on the mat. Try and push your palms down and slide them forward. Press into both feet. Pick up that back heel, step up to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway, exhaling down, bring those blocks close by once again. Reverse swan dive. We'll take our eagle pose on the other side, so lifting the left leg, crossing over the right. Option to wrap the foot. Float the arms out. Right arm over the left this time. Gently squeezing those thighs together. Let's unravel the legs. Warrior three legs. Extend that left heel back. Try and lift through the inner thigh. And then lower foot down, warrior one. Bring the arms back, press into both feet, and then exhale forward, rounding out the back. Inhale the arms up. Move with your breath. Folding forward this time, straightening through that right leg, recruiting the blocks if you need to. Step your back foot in a little bit closer. From here, bend your right knee, heel toe the right foot over to the right, coming into lizard pose. So both hands to the inside of the foot, step your left foot back. If your hips are tight, you can recruit your blocks here. Otherwise, keeping those hands on the mat underneath the shoulders. Let's try and drag the right foot back, left foot forward. Draw the hands back as you reach the heart forward. Well done. From here, we'll transition into a wide-legged forward fold. Bring your blocks with you. Hands over towards the left, turning the toes in slightly more narrow than the heels and reaching those arms out in front with your blocks. So reach the hands forward, push the bottom back. Try to lift up through the arches of your feet and draw up the kneecaps. And then we'll move into lizard pose on the left side. So bring the blocks with you if you need to. Walk the hands over to the left. Again, try and draw the feet towards one another. Reach the heart forward. And then we'll return to our wide-legged forward fold. This time either take the hands to the blocks as we did before or interlace those fingers, straightening the arms. Lift the shoulders away from the ears. Option 1, staying as you are, especially if you have any concerns with your knees and hips. Otherwise, lower those hands to the floor, bring the heels in a little and then bend in your left leg. Sink those hips over towards the left thigh. You can straighten your right leg, draw up that kneecap, and then we'll walk over to the other side. So option 1, walk those hands along the floor. Option 2, one hand to prayer or both hands to prayer. And this time coming all the way over to the right side, come into your lunge. And if you're able to, place your left knee behind and to the outside of your right heel, come seated. So if you're tight through the hips here, you can sit yourself up on your block. You can definitely straighten your left leg. We're taking a twist, so find a little bit of resistance here between the ankle and the thigh. Either hold onto that knee or hook your elbow, if you can, around the knee. Find that deep abdominal breath. And let's return to the front. Lean back here, unravel those legs, coming into your boat pose. And then lower those feet down. If you can, bring the right heel to the left buttock, cross the left leg over. Come into your twist. And let's return to the front now. Unraveling those legs. Let's bend the knees a little. Try and drag your heels back towards your bottom. Now, if you're tight through the back and the hamstrings, you might like to have your blocks ready to go underneath those knees. Let's bring the arms up. As you exhale, fold forward. Try to bring your belly to meet your thighs. Then as you inhale, coming back up. Exhaling down. And this third time, we're going to stay down, take a hold of the outside edges of your feet. So option one is as you are. If you can walk your legs away without losing contact between belly and the thighs, do so. Create a little bit of resistance here between the hands and the feet. So we're pushing and we're pulling. Drishti can be your big toes or down towards your knees. And as you inhale, feel the navel and the back expand. As you exhale, gently contract. Even a gentle Mula Bandha here on the exhalation. So ladies, lifting pelvic floor, a little tone around your base. Only as you exhale. Well done. Press down through the heels. Let's inhale those arms up and exhale those hands down. Crossing at the ankles now, let's roll over onto all fours. Come down into a forearm plank. So forearms onto the mat. Take those feet back behind you, tucking the tailbone, rounding out the upper back. And if this is too intense, just bring those hips down and find your Sphinx pose instead. Keep breathing. From here, let's step those feet a little closer now, coming into your dolphin pose. And from here, take those knees as wide as the mat, coming into a wide-legged child's pose, forehead to meet the mat. And if it's available for you, bring the hands into prayer above the head. Inhaling to come all the way up. So let's come into a wide-legged fold now, a wide-legged seated pose, sorry. So toes and knees to point up towards the ceiling, a little downward pressure through those heels, a little contraction here through the thighs, draw up the knees. Let's inhale, arms up, option to take a mudra, exhale into a side bend. So it doesn't matter where your left arm lands. If you can go down to the floor, do so, and push your arm into the leg into the arm, so you get a little bit of leverage there. Breathing into the side body. Let's inhale to come up and exhale other side. And inhale to come back up. Well done. Let's use those hands to help those legs come together. A little squeeze. So option now to come into your shoulder stand, assuming there's no concerns with your neck, your back. Otherwise, alternative is you can take your legs up against the wall, or you can practice what we did at the very beginning of the class with your bottom up on the block, legs up into the air. So plenty of options there to make sure you're working with your body and not against it. So either positioning your blocks, or if you're able to lift up those legs, come into your shoulder stand. firming down through the arms, pushing through the balls of the feet. And now as you exhale, lower your right leg down. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, other side. One more in each leg. Then you have the option to stay in your shoulder stand, or if it's available for you and there's no discomfort, bring both legs overhead. Keep the legs straight, keep pushing the backs of the thighs up towards the ceiling. You might like to keep hands on the back, interlace the fingers, or even reach the hands around, take a hold of those feet. Keep breathing. When you're ready to return to the shoulder stand, lifting up. And then bending those knees, keep the head on the mat as you slowly lower down. Taking those hands underneath your bottom now, straightening the legs so palms are down, coming into our fish pose. Again, if there's no concerns with your neck. So pull your elbows in so they're almost underneath the back. Then bend your arms, lift the upper body off the mat and drop your head back. Now the head's touching the floor, but there's no weight in the head. Gently press through the balls of the feet. We're going to practice 3 lion's breaths here. So you'll inhale through the nose, and then as you exhale, stick out your tongue, eyes wide. You're purging through the breath. One more for good measure. Press down through the arms, tuck in the chin, lower back down to the mat, release those hands. And we'll take just a very brief moment in Shavasana. Not here for too long. We're not quite finished yet. So bend your left leg, move the hips a touch to the left. And then take a hold of the left knee, coming into a twist. So take the leg over. Option to have a block under the knee. You might choose to stay exactly as you are. If you'd like to straighten that leg and take a hold of the foot or maybe outside knee or the calf, ankle, wherever you can reach. And final variation, only if it feels okay for your back. Move your right leg back, bend the knee and take a hold of the foot. So it's a twist with a back bend. So if you've got both feet here, push the feet into the hands, hands into the feet. And release. Moving to the other side now, hips shift a little to the right. So same variations as before, you might just be enjoying this restorative twist. Feel free to straighten the leg. Feel free to take a hold of your left leg. And let's release, return to your back. So So coming up to seated once again, you can roll to your side or you can cross at the ankles and take those big toes again. Take a couple of rocks. And coming all the way up. Well done. Let's move into a couple of restorative poses now to target those lymph nodes. So sit up on the block if your hips are tight. We're going to take those hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Arms over to the left, turn your head to the left, and then drop the ear towards the shoulder. So you're lifting the chin diagonally. You should feel a nice lengthening from the jaw to the collarbone. Let's change sides now. Bring that head back to center. Arms over to the right. And then coming back to center once again. So coming into a laying chest opener next. Now this can be quite intense on the shoulders, so there's quite a few options that I'll take you through, but if coming down into the pose is simply not an option, you can always use the wall. So just sitting next to the wall and take your right arm behind you, palm facing up. Left fingertips can come to the wall as you look over your left shoulder. So we want to feel a nice opening through the glands, through the shoulders, under the armpit there. Otherwise, if you can, you'll come down onto your navel and you'll take your right arm out to the side, create a right angle, and at most your elbow will be in line with your shoulder. If you need to lighten this, you'll just take that arm higher. So if this is intense already, you can use your left hand as a pillow, take the forehead to the hand, otherwise bring your right ear to the mat instead. Left hand can either stay on the mat or take it behind the body, option to find your mudra. And let's change sides. So if you're at the wall, turn yourself around. And then from here, come onto your navel into your Sphinx pose. Option 1 is as you are. Option 2, bend your left leg and take that knee, if you can, as high as the hip. You start to target into the groin. And let's change sides. And release. over into your back. Feel free here to hug the knees into the chest. You might like to rock from side to side. Or if it's available for you, you can come into your happy baby pose, stacking the ankles above the knees. Arms are on the insides of the legs, but reaching for the outsides of the feet. Again, find a little bit of resistance here between the feet and the hands. You might have the urge to rock from side to side. And when you're ready, let's move into Shavasana. And I encourage you to place your blocks underneath your legs for support, either under the knees or the thighs. Tucking those shoulders under, finding your mudra, letting the palms face the ceiling. Softening the forehead, the tongue and jaw. Begin to inhale a little deeper now, swallowing if the mouth is dry. Wiggling toes and fingers. Stretching if the urge arises. Rolling to your preferred side whenever you're ready, before coming up to seated. Thank you, yogis. I hope that you enjoyed that practice, and please do feel free to request classes as well in the comments below. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel, and not just my channel, but any yoga teacher that you watch on a regular basis. It's the best way to support free yoga on YouTube. Wishing you a lovely day. Namaste.